When I say Egypt, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? To most people, maybe it's the pyramids, or maybe even the Nile. But what about mummification and the role it played in Egyptian religion? Not too many people realize it, but mummification was a very important process in the Egyptian culture because of what they believed their afterlife would be, as well as the other beliefs that they had religiously. So let's start with the Egyptian afterlife. The Egyptian afterlife was actually an underworld. It was actually in the underworld where they would encounter strange creatures, gods, and gatekeepers. So in the afterlife, there were two parts of judgment. The first one was in front of 42 divine judges. This is where they had to pledge their innocence of any wrongdoing while on earth. Once they passed the 42 divine judges, was the weighing of the heart. If the heart was balanced with the feather, the deceased would then be able to enter the lands of Rushes and personally welcomed by Osiris. But if the heart was heavier than the feather, the deceased was guilty of doing wrong in their life. And in return, the heart would then be fed to a mute, and the spirit would be no more. Now, the only reason I bring up the afterlife is because, according to Nicholas Picardo, you have to understand what the Egyptians thought their afterlife was like. In the article Preparing for the Afterlife, we are given an idea of what the Egyptians did to prepare themselves. Now, most people believe today in a human soul. In Egyptian culture, there were three spirits that were thought to be equivalent to what we call a human soul today. They are the Ka, the Ah, and the Ba. According to Picardo, the Ka is a spirit that is with somebody from the day they are born, and it is with them onto the afterlife. And in the afterlife, it serves kind of like a spiritual twin. The second part of these three spirits is the Ah. It's represented by a bird in Egyptian writings. And this is the spirit that was equipped and obtained immortality. Now for the third and final spirit that the Egyptians believed was in our body. And this is the Ba. And this is why mummification was so important. Because the Ba was actually a spirit that was believed to travel from the underworld to the earthly realm. This spirit was supposed to return to the body of the dead at night. Because it returned to the body each night, it needed a place to rest. And that is why the mummification process took great care in preserving the lifelike appearance of the body. Fagan's All Wrapped Up article shows how important of a job mummy makers actually had in preserving the body. So the body of the deceased was actually the resting place for the Ba. Without the body, the Ba would have nowhere to rest at night. We've looked at what the Egyptian afterlife was and of what they believed with the Ba, the Ah, and the Ka. We can see why having the body preserved was so important to them. We see that in the afterlife, they thought that life would continue as it was on earth. So it would make sense that the mummification process was a key part in Egyptian religion because they needed their body to continue living in the afterlife, but also for their physical body to remain in the earthly realm so that the Ba had a resting place.